Hey, what is up, guys? I'm Annabelle, and today I'm going to be talking about why the Golden State Warriors are still the best team in the NBA, even after the whole Kyrie trade, all the Isaiah Thomas Kyrie trade, Paul George to Oklahoma, and all that big stuff. Why Golden State is still the best team in the NBA. And, I mean, you never know, they might not win the finals next year if there's another fluke by Cleveland. But I highly doubt that. I'm pretty sure Golden State's going to repeat. So, without further ado, let's get right into this video. Alright, so my first reason is going to be, like, they still have the most talent on any NBA roster in the entire NBA, if not ever. Because their weakest link is Klay Thompson. Their weakest link is Klay Thompson. And he averages 3.7 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, 0.8 steals per game, and 22.3 points per game. And he's a 3-time All-Star and a 2-time All-NBA. Tell me if you don't think you have to have one hell of a talented roster for that to be your weakest link. But then there's also debatably, Andre Iguodala, who could be debatably the weakest link, who averages 13 points per game, 15.3 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game. He's a one-time All-Star and a Finals MVP. And, I mean, if he was still in his prime, he could potentially be Defensive Player of the Year. This dude's a defensive stopper. So y'all can really debate who's the weakest link on that team. But either way, if either one of them are your weakest link, you have one hell of a roster. Because then, obviously, get into their actual big three, but they really have a big four. And so Steph Curry, he averages 4.5 rebounds per game, 6.6 assists per game, 1.8 steals per game, and 25.3 points per game. This dude is a 2-time MVP. One time it was anonymous, obviously. 4-time All-Star and a 2-time NBA champ. At one time, people were comparing this man to LeBron James. This dude is one of the best players to ever live. He's going in the Hall of Fame, obviously. Then you have Kevin Durant, the snake, 8.3 rebounds per game, 4.8 assists per game, 1 steal per game, 1.6 blocks per game, 25.1 points per game. And this dude is also an MVP from 2013. He was a Rookie of the Year, and he's a 2016 Finals MVP, or this year's Final MVP. And he's debatably one of the best players in the NBA right now. He's probably the second best player in the NBA, only behind LeBron James, maybe behind Russell Westbrook. That's debatable. I mean, you never know. And then you have Draymond Motherfluffing Green. In my opinion, I think Draymond Green is like the energy that they need, like, the glue that holds the entire team together. He averages 7.9 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game, 2 steals per game, and 1.4 blocks per game and 10.2 points per game. So, and he's a 2-time All-Star and 2-time NBA, and obviously the 2017 Defensive Player of the Year. I thought it should have went to Kawhi Leonard, but I think what really got Draymond Green the win, is his nut kicking. I mean, extremely good lockdown defense with his nut kicks. Very great form on them all. But give respect to him. He's really good on defense. He's really the energy that keeps the Golden State Warriors together. So obviously, that's one huge thing you need to be one of the best NBA teams to have the most talent, and they definitely have the most talent on any NBA roster. And then also, they, like, most teams, like, when you're so high and super team, you just can't pay all your role players that really help build your team. But, well, I mean, they only got better this offseason, which is completely unheard of. As Cleveland, I think, debatably, if it wasn't for that Isaiah Thomas trade, I would have said they got worse, too, if it wasn't for them. Because, alright, so Kevin Durant took a $10 million pay cut. $10 million. So, I mean, that obviously freed up tons of space so they could re-sign Andre Iguodala. They ended up re-signing him to a 3-year, $48 million contract, and that was huge because a lot of people didn't think he was going to come back to the Warriors, and he's a huge piece to the Warrior offense and defense. Another one of those veterans that keep them together. But then also a huge signing in my book, Nick Motherfluffin' Young. And I mean, with them signing Nick Young, this dude is a veteran who, rekindled his career with the Lakers this year, but he's an explosive shooter who's a veteran. And, I mean, the dude averages 13.2 points per game, 2.3 rebounds per game, and 1.0 assists per game. This dude can go off on any day. He's a streak shooter, and just imagine, you add more offense to the already offensive powerhouse. And then also, who actually had a really good year, Shaq being a full MVP, JaVale McGee, who they finally found a pretty good center for that team, as that's where they've been struggling, as they had to start Zaza Pachulia for a while and Andre Bogut. But now they have the JaVale McGee, who had a breakout season. So, I mean, kudos to them finally finding a center who's huge. That's huge for them. And number three, my third and final reason is, I mean, they finally, like I was saying earlier, they got the center that they needed. Because in recent years, they have completely struggled with big men. That's how Pachulia wasn't getting the job done. He's obviously an ankle assassin, and when he took out Kawhi Leonard's ankles, and he also, like, they had to do on Andrew Bogut, who was a number one overall pick. This dude was supposed to be a beast. He ended up being a huge bust, and oh my god, a huge bust. So obviously, I mean, they were struggling with centers. But now, they have finally got young JaVale McGee, who had a really good season, running gun style. He's probably pretty good at that. Nah, it's kind of a weak third reason, but I know at this point I was kind of scrapping. But I think the first two reasons are really big, and I do still think they're the best team in the NBA. But unfortunately, guys, that's gonna be the end of this video. So if at any point if you like this video, hit the like button. If you really, really like this video and you want to see more daily videos, hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Also, if you didn't like the video, you don't hit the dislike button. You don't have to do that. And anyway, kids, always remember, never do your vegetables, always eat your drugs, stay safe, wear your seatbelt. Goodbye.